All right, ladies and gentlemen, the first UFC event of the year. It is over. It is in the books. It is done. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas 2 went down at the Apex tonight. The event just finished. I just rushed back to my hotel room. I've still got my makeup on. I'm going to get a shower. I'm going to pack my bags. And then I'm rushing off to the airport because I'm flying to Colombia. Anyway, you're not interested about that. I'm going to take you through every single fight because there were some shocking fights, right? There were some incredible knockouts. There was a few decisions as well on the undercard predominantly. And there were some crazy calls. And there was one of the worst calls by the referee. Referee Mark Smith is a great guy. He's an incredible referee, but he dropped the ball tonight. But it's a hard job. Starting off the night, we had Nurullo Aliyev taking on Joe Solecki. Essentially, Joe Solecki just got out-wrestled for 3 rounds. It went to a decision. There wasn't anything too crazy in that. But the night was underway. Then after that, we saw a training partner of Erin Blanchfield, Fatima Klein, who made a UFC debut on short notice against Jasmine Jasdovicius on a few days' notice, and she stepped up a weight class. She didn't win, but she did very well. And she did very well tonight against Victoria Dudakova. She got the TKO in the second round, dropped some elbows from top position. She got the win. That's all that matters. I'll tell you who else got the win. Bruno Lopez taking on Magomed Gadjiyasulov. Something like that. Anyway, Magomed Gadjiyasulov. Pardon me. He's from Dagestan. He's a great striker, though. Yes, he's a good wrestler, but the striking is his best weapon for sure. Tonight against Bruno Lopez, he couldn't get the job done. He couldn't take him down. They went back and forth in the wrestling, up against the wall, up against the fence. Bruno Lopez landed some good knees. He was forcing the takedowns. It was one of those fights. And Bruno Lopez got the job done, 29-28 across all the scorecards. So, 1, 2, 3 decisions in a row. What's better than to give you a fourth? It was Ernesta Carrasquete taking on Nicole Cagliari, okay? 2 ladies that you might not be overly familiar with, but keep an eye out for Ernesta Carrasquete because that woman looked phenomenal tonight. She had a really, really good performance. Excellent boxing, very tall for the division. She used to be a professional swimmer. She's got a massive reach advantage, very big height advantage over most opponents. Nicole Cagliari, keep an eye on that name as well. She didn't have a bad performance, but she was just beaten by a bigger, taller, longer, better opponent tonight. But I do think both of them belong in the UFC. Now, first knockout of the night, that went to a newcomer coming off the Contender Series. Jacoby Smith taking on Preston Parsons. Preston the Pressure Parsons. Preston Parsons is a very good fighter. Last time he went up against Oban Elliott in Manchester, UFC 304. Tonight he went up against Jacoby Smith, coming off the Contender Series. A man that's undefeated. I think he was 9-0. And it didn't matter. It didn't get out the first round. Beautiful right hand, left hook, that knocked him out cold. And I mean cold. And when you remember or you know that this guy, his main weapon is his wrestling, right? He's a ridiculous wrestler for Oklahoma State. Trained with Daniel Cormier for a few years at the American Kickboxing Academy. Jacoby Smith, keep an eye on that name. But we weren't done there. The hits keep on coming. Thiago Moises beat Trey Ogden. He chopped him up with calf kicks. He took him down a little bit there. Trey Ogden was he landed a few shots. He should have threw more output. He had a good jab. He didn't follow it up enough. Thiago Moises butchered his calf a little bit. He got some takedowns. He got on top and he got the decision. So we're still on the undercard here. And the next one up was another knockout. Marco Tullio took out Ihor Pateria in the very first round. 3 minutes into it, this was at a catch weight because Pateria missed weight. But for punishment, he got knocked out. It was a vicious knockout as well by Marco Tullio. And then the final one on the UFC prelims, it was Felipe Bunez submitting Jose Johnson. Jose Johnson, 6 foot tall at 125 pounds. Very good on the feet, a smooth operator for sure. He's got very good skills, but tonight got caught in a deep arm bar. And that was it. That was the prelims. Now, moving on, a lot of crazy stoppages on the main card. Starting off the main card, we had Punahele Soriano fighting out of Extreme Couture, took out Urosh Medic. 31 seconds, just a right hand, left hook, boom. Or was it a left hook, right hand? I can't remember. But it was one of them. And it put him to sleep, it put him down. And that was that. After it, Christian Rodriguez took out Austin Bashi. Austin Bashi came in. He was a young kid. He's undefeated. I think he was 12 or 13-0. He learned a valuable lesson tonight, okay? He did well on the Contender. He did well on the regional scene. But when you step up to the UFC, it's world-class competition. Tonight, he learned a very valuable lesson. But he showed up. He gave a good account of himself. And Christian Rodriguez, keep an eye on that name. He's very cool, calm, and collected. Keeps his composure. under a lot of pressure. Looked great in the striking department. The takedown defense was absolutely phenomenal. And as I say, he won a decision. Now, this is where the controversy starts because Roman Kopylov went out there against Chris Curtis, okay? A great performance from both men. And what a fight. I would say that was probably fight of the night. Roman Kopylov in the first round looked so fast, okay? Blistering hand speed, a beautiful jab, punishing the body with kicks, going high, going low. And Chris Curtis was taking some shots, but he was defending really well. Second round, it was a complete 180. Chris Curtis taking over. He was ahead on the numbers. He was landing more shots. He was blocking more. And it looked like Roman Kopylov was done. It looked like he was out of gas. It looked like he was tired and he was a sitting duck. However, third round, we saw second wind, right? Roman Kopylov came back, turned it up a notch. So did Chris Curtis. We had a tremendous fight in our hands and it came down to the final seconds. In fact, it came down to the final second, okay? A beautiful shot from Roman Kopylov, kind of stumbled Chris Curtis and then whoom, follows up with a beautiful head kick. Drops him, right? Dropped Chris Curtis, but Chris Curtis was on his knees. He was fine. He wasn't unconscious. Mark Smith, and I'm not talking shit about him, he's a great referee and he cares about what he does. And he was trying to stop Chris Curtis from taking any more damage. So his heart was in the right place, and I understand why he did it, but there was 1 second left on the clock. He goes in, he stops the fight. Now, if there was longer left in the fight, he probably would have taken a bunch of unnecessary damage. However, it's not the referee's job to know that there's 1 second left. In his defense, I will say that actually, in his defense, all he's trying to do is stop somebody from taking more damage. As far as he knows, there could have been 2 minutes left, and therefore he would have taken a massive onslaught, okay? Because he did go down pretty hard. But I do think it shouldn't have been stopped. And the 1 second left only added insult to injury. Chris Curtis was pissed off. He was mad. He was upset. He was emotional. And so was his coach, Eric Nitzik. He just cornered Punahele Soriani. He cornered Chris Curtis and he was fuming. He was screaming at Mark Smith. He was going crazy. There was a little bit of a scene in the Apex. Then everything came under control. I went in there. I interviewed Roman Kopylov. Roman Kopylov felt like the referee made the right decision.
Give me your thoughts on how the fight ended.
I think everything was correct. Everything was by the rules.
Of course he's going to say that. Listen, as I say, Mark Smith, tremendous referee. As I say, he probably didn't know there was 1 second left. He probably thought he was doing the right thing and saving Chris Curtis from more damage. But from the scenario, if you're Chris Curtis and you hear there was 1 second left, I kind of understand why he was so pissed off. Anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Then after that, another crazy knockout. Cesar Almeida, a very, very good kickboxer, taking on Abdul Razak Al Hassan, a man with some of the most devastating power in all of the middleweight division. This man can crack, and that's exactly what he did. Right hand drops Cesar Almeida. He manages to work back to his feet, and then he goes on the hunt, he goes on the kill. But he's so obsessed about the finish, the offense, he forgets about the defense. That's why you've got to stay calm in these situations. That's why you can't just go, whoa, I've got him, and then go crazy and just start swinging like a madman. Because you got to remember, there's something going to come back. And what came back, one of the best, one of the coldest, one of the most vicious left hooks you've ever seen. Cesar Almeida, boom, left hook, knocks him out cold. Abdul Razak Al Hassan, he was unconscious for a long time. I went in there to do the interview and he was still lying there. It's so awful when you go in there and you see it firsthand, you see what these fighters go through. I've been there myself, you know. But to be that close to the action, it looks a little bit different than when you watch it on TV. But still, an unbelievable knockout. Speaking of knockouts, we also had another one. In the co-main event, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Colston Harris. Colston Harris, right, he flies under the radar. He doesn't get the recognition he deserves. He went up against Santiago, dropped him 3 times in the first round. And as the fight was progressing, it looked like he might lose. But then in the third round, Santiago got his second win again. I said that twice now, but he did. He dug deep, okay, and he started landing some big shots. And then a massive right hand sits him down, and that was it. Followed up, couple more shots, referee waves in, and that was that. And then I interviewed the pair of them. Colston Harris hung around for the interview. That was nice. We had a little chat. Nothing but class between the pair of them. Santiago Ponzinibbio, the man's an awesome guy. He's an incredible fighter, 38 years old, getting one in there for the old guys. And then, of course, we had the main event, a rematch from 3 years ago. Amanda Ribas won the first one, 30-27 on the judges' scorecards. This time out, in the first round, Mackenzie Dern goes out. Not much happening in the striking world. She hits a single leg, takes it down. She's all over it, gets a lot of control, but didn't do much with it. The second round, kind of the same thing, but the complete other way. Mackenzie went for a takedown, and in the scramble, Amanda Ribas ended up on top. Mackenzie was trying to work arm bars and stuff like that, but Ribas shut her down. She had great control with the elbows and just like kind of pinning the biceps. At the end of the round, Mackenzie hits a beautiful omoplata and reverses her and gets top position, but it was the end of the round. Third round, Mackenzie goes out, hits a takedown, gets on top of her, gets the mount, goes for an arm bar, and that thing looked deep. But Ribas rolls her over. Mackenzie sticks with it, and I'm telling you right now, this was at 4 minutes 56 in the third round. This is how good Mackenzie Dern's jiu-jitsu is, right? Because 15 minutes into the fight, essentially, you're very, very sweaty. And most people, you can pull out. You can just slide your arm out. It's hard to keep a grip, right, when you're that sweaty and you're hot and you're bothered and all the rest of it, okay? But that's how tight her technique is. That's what kind of grip she had on Amanda Ribas. And Amanda Ribas, right, she's a high-level black belt as well. You got to remember that. But that was the technique of Mackenzie Dern. Just unbelievable. A great submission. Her daughter was there in attendance. She's trained by Jason Perillo. I couldn't be happier for the whole team. Commiserations, of course, to Amanda Ribas and her team. They're awesome people as well. Amanda Ribas is great. Her coaches are fantastic. And that was it. It was a great fight night, an excellent way to start the night. Next week is UFC 311. I'll have content dropping every single day. I've got to pack. I've got to get my stuff. I've got to head downstairs. I haven't eaten since 10 o'clock this morning. It's now past 8 o'clock at night. I'm starving. I've got to pack. I've got to shower. I've got to get this bloody makeup off my face, get downstairs, eat, jump in a car, head to the airport, fly to Colombia, right? Get my stem cells. I'll be there for a week. I'll be doing content. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of everything that I said in the comment section down there below. A reminder, there's members-only videos dropping every day. Exclusive content that you can only view if you're a member. So do yourself a favor, sign up for the membership program. Other than that, you guys take care. Hope you enjoyed the fights. I'm out of here. I'm off to Colombia. Take care.